Coach Chris Ouellette, last year it was sort of the culmination of a climb with that class of kids. This year, I think it's fair to say it was improbable, but you just repeated as Division II ECC soccer champions. Just talk a little bit about what this team did tonight.
Well, I think one of the things you just said right there is one of the things that this team's been dealing most with over the course of this season is they have their own identity. They're their own players. Yeah, last year's team was a really good team, and we had a lot of fun with them, but this is a team as well, and this is a team that really wanted to establish their own identity. And, yeah, it comes on the heels of a really good team in front of them, but this is a group of seniors that really pushed and really fought for everything that they've gotten up to this point, and to put their name out there on their own, and to stand on their own. We had a little bit of bulletin board material the other day, and we finally got interviewed for the year, and in the paper it said the pieces are filling in for what was left over from last year, and these guys got names. We worked through this to get to this point, and these guys are, they're the guys too, and their names are going to be. We talked about immortality and putting a banner up in a school building, and these guys are going to be able to hoist one now, and it's theirs, and they earned it, and it's important that everybody knows that these guys are the guys. This is their team. It's impossible to not look at and compare it to last year, though, right? Goes to PKs. The difference this year, though, is New London probably outpossessed you by about 80% in the second half and overtime. But you guys just kept your composure. What did you tell your kids, both heading into overtime and then in the second overtime and then into the PKs? Well, we actually didn't really get to talk much between first and second overtime. I didn't know we were going to get that much of a time, so that kind of caught me by surprise. But between the regulation and overtime, we just talked about maintaining composure and try to identify what they're trying to do with the ball. They're trying to put high press on us. They're trying to be very fast, so we have to read their game. We have to be a bit more composed with our defending. And at that point, we were overcommitting a lot and stabbing ourselves in, and we had to compose and stand them up and try to slow them down the best that we could. And they're a really good team, and they move the ball so well. And I mean, they can shoot from anywhere inside the half and probably even beyond if you gave them a chance. So really at that point, it was just kind of doing each person's job, and get their spot done, do what they need to do there to combine and put a defensive effort up as a team. It wasn't going to be an individual effort at that point. We knew that we had to everybody do their job. The wind played a significant factor. Balls carried a lot more with the wind and obviously into the wind. But you guys seem to do a really nice job of keeping the ball on the ground and trying to work through so that the wind wasn't as much of a factor. Did you guys change anything when you had the wind or with the wind, or did you feel like it was less for you? Because it certainly affected them. It was, we were able to open the game up a little bit more with the wind at our back because we knew we could be a little bit more dangerous with a longer ball. But we're a possession-based team, and we're better with the ball at our feet as opposed to running onto it. So it's kind of within our game plan to try to keep the ball at our feet and combine some passes and run off the ball and open up some shots in that direction. So beating the wind wasn't really specifically in the game plan. Our overall game plan kind of plays into that. But we did know that when we had the wind at our backs, we could open up a little bit more and hope to try to expose them. They play with such a deep line in the back that it was hard to identify some weaknesses in that spot and get them out of that middle. So possessing the ball at our feet and getting them to move to us is what we needed at that point. I mean, obviously you have to feel good about how your team's playing right now. Logan said it. This team has higher aspirations. They don't want to lose. They love playing with each other. What do you do now off of a championship as you head into the States? Take a day off. Disneyland? I don't know. No, we'll evaluate what went well, what didn't go well. We'll get a scouting report in on our opponent, and we'll see what we have to do to prepare for that match. And it'll be what it'll be. I mean, we put some goals down on some paper at the beginning of the year, and this was one of them. And a lot of people crossed our name off the list early on. We talked mid-year. 3/4 of the way through the year, we hadn't even gone into this yet. So we're kind of taking things as they come. We've been playing for our lives now for a couple weeks. So when Saturday comes, we'll play for our lives again. And when we do that, we come together, and I like our chances. I'll be proud of the boys if they fight the way that they fought so far. So.
Well, no matter what happens moving forward, the Montville Wolves have repeated as Division II boys soccer champions in the ECC. Congratulations, Coach. Go celebrate with your kids.